kind of want to talk about a couple of things here today about Ghost of Tsushima, and to be honest with you, I don't want to really make this an organized video because I don't really, I have a lot of disorganized thoughts, and I want to share some of those thoughts because I think that this game is an absolute home run hit from Sucker Punch. I said it earlier in this year. I said when I did my video game analysis video on it, I said this game is going to be a return to form for Sucker Punch. And to be honest with you, it is not a return to form from Sucker Punch. This is their best game they've ever made. Ever. This is it. There is no comparison. I love the Infamous series. I love the Sly Cooper series. I love them both. I love them more than a lot of other people did and still do. I love Sucker Punch as a developer. Those games aren't in the league of Tsushima. And when I think of Sucker Punch as a developer, playing as a samurai that kind of turns into a ninja in a very, very traditional, semi-historically based video game, when I think of like all of these themes in Ghost of Tsushima, I would say that Sucker Punch is not the developer that would create a game like this. That Sucker Punch is not the type of developer to go after a game like this. And it really, like, I have to sometimes like scratch my head and wonder, like, where did they come up with this idea for this game, this like hyper-realistic, semi-historically accurate video game? And I don't know where they came up with this idea. I don't know where they got the inspiration. I know that they got it from samurai movies, but the game is awesome. It is fantastic. The story that they implement, the part of the game that I have played when it comes to the narrative of this game, the story is fantastic. And like from the opening section of the game where the Mongols are encountering the samurai, and the samurai, they're on the hilltop, and it's just great, it is great storytelling quietly. It's not bombastic, it's not like in your face, it's not like, oh, okay, like we're going to have this entire like epilogue of story. It tells you the story by showing you what's going on and not necessarily having like all of this description and descriptive. It's a fantastic way to tell the story. And then once you get past the opening section of the game then opens up to you, and you get to play on the entire island of Tsushima. And let me tell you something. I am getting really, really sick and tired of hearing all of the Assassin's Creed comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima. Everyone's like, Assassin's Creed, it's like Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed. It's the Assassin's Creed game that you wanted and didn't get. Wrong. It's not Assassin's Creed. It is way more Breath of the Wild, as in, yes, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, than it is Assassin's Creed. And the reality is, they've never had as good of combat. They've never had as good exploration. Like, the fact that you can go anywhere and pretty much do anything and help out anyone that you encounter, that's not in an Assassin's Creed game. Don't try and sell me that crap. It's not even close. It is so similar to Breath of the Wild and how you build your character. Like, I'm staring at my character, Jin, right now. I have, like, I think a level 4 katana right now, and I've done, like, maybe 4 or 5 of the main story missions. Like, all of what I've done in the game up until this point that I'm recording this video at, I've only done pretty much side quest activities. I've gotten my resolve up. I've done haikus. I've done everything in the game that is not a part of the main story, that is not a part of the main narrative of the game. And I'm having so much fun with this game, not doing the main story. And there's so much good stuff packed into this game. Again, I'll talk about the graphics and, you know, what I think about the performance of the game later on. And by performance, I mean the actual, like, hardware performance of it. The world that Sucker Punch has made on the island of Tsushima is fantastic. And when I first looked at this game in 2018, I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a next generation game, or at best, it's probably going to be a downgraded PS4 game, and it's not that at all. What you see is what you get, and what you get is a pretty freaking beautiful game that performs well, and it stays true to what they wanted when it came to the theme and the philosophy of the game, with this minimal HUD and this very interactive world. Like, the wind constantly guides you, and, you know, the leaves and the fog and all of this. Like, I don't need waypoints in the game. You don't need waypoints in the game if you just look around and you look at the direction of the wind that it's pointing, the direction the wind is blowing, and it'll point you in the direction that you need to go. It's intuitive, and it's easy to get, and it's so beautiful to look at. That's the best thing about the wind, is that it ties into the lore of the game while also actually looking and playing it good. This game also has like one of the best interactions of the PS4 touchpad I've ever seen on the controller, obviously. Like, you know, if you swipe up, it's the wind. If you swipe right, it's to sheath your sword. If you swipe left, I think it's to bow to somebody in respect. If you swipe down, it's to play the flute. It's, you know, there are so many different interactions with the touchpad, but they're all useful in some ways. In other ways, they're just fun to do. And it's very, very intuitive. It's like, oh, this belongs in the game without it being like a gimmick like in some of the other PS4 title games. And then you get to the combat. You get to, you know, the funnest part of the game, in my opinion, where I'm not getting bored or sick of the combat. I still have so many different things to learn with the combat. I have the stances. I have the different upgrades that come with the combat. Like, in reality, I'm still in like the first chapter, and I've been playing the first chapter, the first section of the game throughout the entire weekend. Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima, is so much fun, and I've just started to get the game. Once again, congratulations to Sucker Punch. I'm so happy and proud of that developer, and I'm happy and proud that once again, I called it like I saw it. I was right. 24 got another one right. But I cannot wait to continue forward. I cannot wait to get the Ghost Armor. I cannot wait to unlock a bunch of stuff. By the way, the only issue that I've kind of come across, and it is not my fault. It is not the game's fault. It is something that happened with my save file with the game. My save file got corrupted, and I get this glitch in the game where every single time pretty much I press the L3 button or I press the touchpad to go into like the vision mode, like it spams my bow and arrow. It spams it, and it happens in combat. It happens when I'm doing stealth. It's so obnoxious and it's so ridiculous. I hate it so much. It's like the only thing that I found wrong with the game, and it's a bug that needs to be fixed or patched. I don't know if it can be, but I'm holding out hope that it does, because it's really, really annoying. But the game itself is fantastic beyond that. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Until my next video, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.